Hello there.
We are going to tell you a little about euphemisms.
The word euphemism comes from the ancient Greek word eupheme. Eupheme was the nurse to the muses. The use of euphemism is present in many ancient cultures, but the first record was in Thomas Blount's Glossographia in 1656. The definition was a good or favorable interpretation of a bad word. There are many early examples. A shortened crown meant decapitation. A gentleman of the road was a highwayman. A train robber.
In the early 1600s, Thomas Boder took it upon himself to edit Shakespeare's works so that they would be less offensive.
A gypsy's lust became a gypsy's will. He that hath killed my king and whored my mother was changed to the less offensive line. He that hath killed my king seduced my mother.
So then in the 1600s, it was okay to use kill but not whore? Later many euphemisms for kill and death would become very popular.
In one of Dickens' books called The Pickwick Papers, a character's clothing is described. It says, Mr. Trotter gave 4 distinct slaps on the pocket of his mulberry indescribables. Indescribables. Trousers and underclothes were ordered by name, but fine ladies were said to feel faint if mention was made in their presence.
Oh, dear.
Instead of saying kill,
You would say terminate.
because mentioning sex was impolite and often inappropriate.
You would say sleep with instead.
And instead of saying you were going to relieve yourself, you would say you were going to pass water. This seems to be replacing one euphemism with another.
The most common topsis that utilize euphemisms are a euphemism is a polite, tactful or less explicit term used to avoid the direct naming of an unpleasant, painful, or frightening reality. In many cases, the purpose of euphemisms is to protect the family from sexual innuendos.
Historically, families, children, women, and polite society were protected from the ills of human nature.
Sex was more appropriate when referred to as intimacy. Rather than being blunt and saying someone died, you could say they passed away.
The poor and impoverished are more gently referred to as underprivileged. And lastly, instead of saying something was dismissed, you might say it was made redundant.